Hey,
Bisha,
look at us.
what's up?
All right. So I want to welcome everybody to the Her Third Act podcast. And this is a podcast where we celebrate the journey and recognize that a woman's life doesn't slow down, it levels up. And I'm your host, Bisha Hawkins. And each week we will sit with women who've lived, learned, and pivoted and are asking the powerful question, what's next? So, this is a space for reflection, for reinvention, and bold new beginnings because her third act is just getting started. And today, we have the esteemed honor of welcoming the Sarah Ann Carpenter. She
On.
has been called a modern day Fannie Lou Hamer. She is known around the country for fighting for children, especially for children in Memphis, Memphis Shelby County schools, where the population is overwhelmingly black and there's a lot of poverty. And so, but I call her my friend, but I also call her the unofficial mayor of Memphis. And if you know her, you know what I'm talking about. So Sarah, as you and I were talking about, we were talking about your third act. Like, have you made it to your third act? And I think we landed on the fact that you are in your third act right
I,
now.
I think so.
You
I,
think so? Okay.
yeah, I know so. I ain't doing nothing else after this.
I
So this is
don't,
my third
I
act.
don't believe that. I don't believe that. But I do want to welcome you to the podcast and thank you for agreeing to be the first guest.
Mm, absolutely, Bisha.
I
Absolutely.
I am honored. Thank you. All right. So I have said this in an earlier video that where I was promoting the podcast. The podcast is broken into three parts. Act one, which we'll talk about little Sarah.
I better put this down then.
Uh
Talking about
oh, okay. Hold on. Here, I got mine too. Act two will be the woman, Sarah, the woman she became. And then act three, we'll talk about this current era that she is in. And she said that a lot of stuff has happened in act three.
yeah.
So we will give a lot of time to that. All right. So you ready to get it started?
I think I am. I think I am.
Started. All right. So act one, the girl she was. So tell us about little Sarah. Like everybody who knows you knows the fierce mommy, the fierce grandma, the fierce great grandma, but what was little Sarah like? Like what lit little Sarah up? What lit you up as a little girl?
I would say Christmas. You talking about something like a holiday or something?
Well, just yeah, Christmas.
Christmas
Tell me
and
about that.
hanging out with my friends. I had like 4 or 5 best friends growing up. We all grew up together. We remained friends for like 50 years. Some of them passed away, but it's one still left. So hanging out with my friend, we walked every afternoon. When the
Uh,
sun go down, we would walk all the way. I stayed in some apartments and we would walk on Hollywood Street. I never will forget. We would just go walking.
just walking and talking.
Yeah, walking. We call ourselves walking, just walk. We go walking every evening. We would take our bath, we would put on some clothes and just go walking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see.
Not when we were so little, when we became like teens, but I didn't skip the little bitty part.
Well,
The
you mentioned Christmas. What made you lit up? What did Christmas? What about Christmas made you light up?
Christmas was like a joyful time in my house. I mean, we didn't have too many not joyful time, but Christmas was like joyful, man, because we got toys. I never will forget the walking doll. Anybody my age probably will know about the walking doll. The doll didn't even walk. You had to hold her hand, like drag her. Because they probably cost it. You really didn't walk. I mean, you just held her hand, just pulled her along. But we thought she was walking, I guess, back then. My auntie ain't mad. We all stayed in the same apartments, and Aunt Maddie stayed like three or four doors from us. And my uncle was her husband, my mom's brother, and she would fix us up these shoe boxes with oranges, apples, nuts, and candy, the hard candy back in the day. And I look forward to getting that Christmas box from my Aunt Maddie.
So Christmas was magical for you.
Yeah, Christmas and Easter, I would say.
That is so interesting because you are somebody who is knee deep into reality, neck deep. You know what I mean? And so to think of you as a little girl, you know, so excited about the magic of Christmas.
Yeah.
Um, you also, I remember once you telling me about hearing about Santa Claus.
Oh yeah, yeah, Santa Claus. Man, I believed in Santa Claus. I probably was in sixth or seventh grade. The sixth grade, I would say. And my sister sneaked and told me it wasn't no Santa Claus. And I cried. And when my mama got home from work, baby, I want to know what was going on. I'm like, that was devastating to me. That's why I I know my daughter told her grandson it wasn't no Santa Claus. I mean, but I grew up believing in Santa Claus. We would have to
Yeah.
go to bed early. If we didn't go to bed early, Santa was gonna throw ashes in our eyes. And
Right.
man, so we went to bed early. Sometimes we played sleep and we still didn't hear Santa. We'll fall asleep, and wake up the next morning. All the stuff would be under the tree. So
Right.
yeah. But my sister spoiled it for me, man, in the sixth grade.
Wow.
She told me it wasn't no Santa Claus, and that's when I found out that Christmas it's been good over the years, but it did something to me that was traumatizing to find out. I never will forget that. Oh my God, that sounds crazy, but I believe
It
in
doesn't sound crazy. It doesn't sound crazy.
I believe in Santa Claus. So
Wow. Wow. So 6th grade, you were old.
yeah, still
Yeah.
believing in Santa,
Oh, wow.
still believing in Santa Claus, babe. I guess it
So
was
you
time
mentioned your
for
Aunt Maddie. Was there somebody else that just you lit up whenever they would show up?
I would say my mom's sisters when they come down from Somerville
Mhm.
and visit us. Yeah, that was a joyful time also. My
Mhm.
mom had probably like 10 siblings. And I mean when they would come, that would be joyful. I remember Uncle Gene named Mad would he would drive so slow, but he would drive to Memphis and oh God, that was the highlight of our Saturday or Sunday, whenever they came. Him name I got two ain't mads.
Okay. So what it sounds like to me, and I'm really just now putting this together. I mean, this is why family is so important to you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just always been a part of your life, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I love my family, but
Oh
I
God,
I
we
have I know I have actually I done made some friends that feel like family to me, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's a good thing too, because sometimes family don't always, we don't always do things decent and in order. Mhm.
They'll always come through for you.
Right,
Yeah.
but I
Uh,
love them still.
yeah. All right.
But I got some friends, like I said, that just like my family, just like my sisters, just like my brother. Yeah,
Yeah. And you've got, I mean, the Memphis community shows up for you like I have never seen I've just never seen like that before.
yeah. I mean,
I mean, your wedding, how many people?
I can't remember. I know I kept adding people. I didn't want to leave nobody out.
And you didn't. You
I
didn't.
if they wasn't there, I thought they were there.
Hundreds of people. It
Yeah.
just still blows
And
my
the
mind.
highlight of that was Kelsey, Natasha, you, Mary Ellen. Y'all came from long ways to be there. That I love people, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, even Kelsey came from DC, Naomi Shelton came. You know,
Yeah,
these people traveled a long way, so that meant something to me.
of course. Of
I mean, not just that, but I mean, a lot of things people have showed up for me for meant so much to me. So yeah,
Okay. So that's a great segue into the woman that you have become. So, I mean, you were damn near 20 believing in Santa Claus. But
I know I was sixth grade, sixth grade girl. Dang shit, Bisha.
so let's talk about the woman you've become and in that journey, right? So I know you had Chip at an early age,
Yeah,
and
I
then
had yeah,
go ahead.
I had Chip when I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
Uh, then I had Peaches 3 years later. Then bam, here come Notorious. Bam, here come Dee Dee. You know, so yeah,
Yeah.
they were like Dee Dee and Notorious like a year apart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had 3 babies in Pampers, baby.
Ooh.
Taking them to the clinic one time for their checkup. The nurse looked at me and said, "Mom, don't never bring them all 3 at one time." I said, "That's a good idea. That's a good idea, baby."
So I'm guessing like in your mid-20s, you had 4 baby girls.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that like?
It seemed easy, but it wasn't easy. But I had a village of people around me. I had my family. Here I go with family again. My mom, my sister, my brothers, you know, they were that village around me with those kids. You know, and my brother Randy was like that father figure, man. You know,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
So I had a village of people around me, and I was young and still doing my thing, you know. So, I
What's your
mean,
thing? What's your thing?
partying, going out, having fun, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my family played a huge part in those little 4 girls' lives.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what kind of what were you working? Where were you? Yeah. What were
I
you?
worked I worked at this place called Memphis Folding Stairs. Girl, they bring my hand so hard, not problem.
Mm,
They build attic stairs. Girl, I had a many splendors in my hand. I worked there. My first job was this guy named George Reed. Never will forget George Reed. He gave me a job. He had contracts with apartments all over the city. And he gave me a job going in those apartments, cleaning them up. And I love George Reed to this day for that. And
mm,
his son. I
mm.
mean, for giving me an opportunity. I call it an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's what got me off of welfare. That
Yep.
job got me off of welfare. For real, for real.
Love that. Yeah.
And so then I went to this place called Memphis Fold and Stir. I done had some crappy jobs. People will call them crappy, but it was survival for me, you
Mm,
know.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I
You were
mean,
able to take care of your girls.
I'm grateful for all that, you know.
Mm.
Yeah, so
You had
that's
some side gigs too.
yeah, I had side gigs later on. We gotta fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
Man, I ain't gonna get in no trouble for this now though, but I used to burn CDs and like sell them. I mean, when I started doing it wasn't a crime. I mean,
Hmm.
I had them in my trunk like Master P. I mean, I sold probably 500,000 copies in a year. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, I sold so many CDs. I would even travel to Somerville on Saturday morning. My mama would ride with me. And I would go up there and sell CDs, come back home, go to Somerville and sell CDs, make $400. Come back home. We back at
Wow.
home before it get dark. I'm like, wow. But then all of a sudden they said it was a felony. And girl, I remember the time where I'm riding through the neighborhood and the police would stop me and I would sell them CDs. I would sell the police CDs for real. I mean,
Wow.
soon as they
Hustling.
said, soon,
Hustling.
yeah, soon as they said it was a crime, baby, I let it go quick.
Hustling.
Then
Hustling.
I did this thing. I was working at the Racket Club. It's a private country club, and they fired me for no reason. I came back to the neighborhood, and I got people out the neighborhood. I went and got my kids out of school the next day. We protested in front of that country club.
How old were your kids?
Oh, they were little kids, man.
Wow.
They were little kids. So
So
that's why
you
I said
went and got all four of your girls.
I surely did. And we went back out there and protest. I went and got my girls, Bubba Pitts, he was a guy in the neighborhood. We went back out there and protest. Sure did.
Is
And
that your first? Is that like one of your the first or one of your first acts of advocacy activism?
yes, yes, I will say that. Because I had to do a lot to fight these people. It was a private rich folks country club. So
Yeah.
I had to do a lot. I had to go to EEOC. I went to, never will forget, I went to Bill Atkins Church. And this guy named Reverend Burst was a minister there. And baby, he went back out there with me too.
Wow.
That was like probably 30 some years ago. Yeah.
I wish I could see you and your four girls.
I believe I got the article somewhere. I say that article. I'm gonna look for it.
Oh, you so it made the paper.
It made the newspaper. It was the press symbol or the commercial appeal, one of them.
Okay.
Remember, hon. But yeah, me and my four girls and some people from the community. But I know one of those people, Bubba Peace, man, he would ride or die.
And what made you I mean that's pretty remarkable. Like what made you feel so empowered like that you knew you had a right to that job?
Because I know they did me wrong, and I don't even know. It didn't feel like power to me. It felt like I was fighting for what was right. It didn't
Okay.
feel I didn't have an idea about no power. Wasn't thinking about power, you know. And they had to give my job back, and they couldn't retaliate against me. But it felt so awkward going back in that place. I was off for 3 months. They had
Yeah.
to pay me for the 3 months I was off, and couldn't retaliate against me. And I went back in that place, my head held high, and I worked 3 years after that, and I finally just left.
Wow, Sarah.
Yeah, I finally left because I started cleaning houses after that.
Wow.
Yeah, I started cleaning houses and met some amazing people, you know. And I call them people like my family because my mom used to clean two of their houses, but my mom got sick, so they asked me to do it, and I said, I don't want to do that because I watched
Mhm.
my mama do it, you know, and that
Mhm.
ain't what I wanted to do. But I went on and did it because they were some nice people and considered family at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And how
yeah,
long did you do that?
I did that for probably about probably about 10 years.
Mhm.
And then I worked for this other man. I met him from the racket club. Met him way back then. I cleaned his house up until he died last year, and that was 30 years.
Last year?
He died last year. Mr. Hoffman died last year, yeah.
And you cleaned his house
For
up
30
until
until
last year
the day he died.
out of loyalty.
Out of loyalty. I didn't want to do it. I didn't have to do it no more.
Right.
I didn't want to do it. I hate to go some days. But I
Yeah.
thought about the things that he did for me when my kids were little bitty. That man did some things for me when my kids were little kids.
Wow.
Yeah, so I stayed out of loyalty. And he was 80 some years old. He died last year.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, Sarah. Um, so if you had to think of a word that defined that time in your life, right? Like you raising kids, you doing jobs that you don't really care about, but it's paying the bills. It's doing what it needs to do. Um, like what do you call that part of your life?
It's more than one word.
Okay,
Doing what you have to do.
doing what you got to do. Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, the cleaning houses wasn't no crappy job to me because I got OCD anyway. So
Yeah. Right.
that I love the people houses I clean. I really did. And they love me too, you know. So I mean, the crappy job I called was working at that warehouse and getting splinters all in my hand and
Yeah.
wasn't making no money. That's what I call the crappy job.
Yeah.
But it helped me, you know. So
Yeah.
I did what I had to do.
You did what you had to do, and it all roads lead to something, right? And so let's go into the third act.
I got
All the
I got
all the things.
I got
uh
I got something to add to that second act before I go to the third.
okay.
Okay, in 2011, I found out I had a brain tumor. It was
Mm,
October the 22nd, 2011, and I had to have brain surgery. And that's when I said I love people. People been a part of my healing journey, you know. So I love people.
yeah.
Uh, People was there for me, you know. I'm talking about in a major way. That was in 2011. Didn't have no insurance, health insurance, none whatsoever. And they had to see me, and I had the best brain surgeon in the city because somebody looked him up for me.
Wow.
Doctor, I'll never forget that man. He was old. His name was James Rodney Fields. And he was one of the best because the young man that was raised up in this neighborhood, he was a traveling nurse and he worked for him. He's You got the best brain surgeon in the city. He
Wow.
worked in OR. Yeah. So anyway,
How did you manage that without insurance?
I nobody but God I can say because when I got the hospital bill, I said, man, they can mail this to heaven. I said, they can mail this to heaven. I didn't have no insurance whatsoever. And end up with one of the best brain surgeons in this city. And
And
it's
how old
real.
were you at that point, Sarah?
It was in 2011.
Okay.
I forgot how old I was.
Okay, let's do some math. It's
Do the
hard to do
math. I
math.
ain't doing no math. I'm
Hold on.
doing
It's hard.
wine, baby.
I'm gonna say it's hard to do math on wine. Let's see. 2011, that was 15 years ago.
Yeah,
So you were maybe 40?
yeah.
No, 50. You were 50. You were 50.
Okay.
Because you're gonna be 65 this year, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So you were 50.
I was
Wow.
50 years old. Well, yeah, I was 50 years old and had a brain tumor. It
And
was a
all your
little,
kids were adults.
yeah. Back then they were young adults, wasn't
Mhm.
grown, but they were young adults. You know,
Yeah.
they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I remember going in there, that doctor coming back in there telling me, and my daughter Sharika was in there with me, and my nephew Dante, and he a police officer, stand about 6 feet tall, huge, black. He was crying and she was crying. I told him to get out the room.
Oh.
I told him to get out because I'm not crying. And I'm telling you what I always say about that, and we'll talk about something else later. I always said God didn't give me time to get scared.
Mm.
I didn't have time to even think about it. And that was the good part about it, I think. And I knew I had to have the surgery, so wasn't no need of being afraid.
Right.
It was gonna be what it was gonna be. That's what my mindset was. That's why I told them to get out because I don't want nobody that don't believe what I believe in here with me.
Ooh.
If you don't believe what I believe, get away from around me.
That's powerful.
And that go for children, family, anybody. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep.
I love that, Sarah.
And my poor mama was there every chance she got. She made them bring her to their hospital every chance she got. And I said,
Mm,
Mom, stay at home, but she would still come and barely could, walk. But my mom was there right by my side.
mm.
Yeah,
Okay. So that was in 2011.
yeah.
Okay. Um
Okay, I went to I'm skipping, then it come back to me. I
yeah,
guess wine bring my memory back. So that was October 2011, and Kip hired me January of 2012.
okay.
I went to work at Kip, so my mind going back, I'm almost through.
Okay. Okay, so we're getting to your third act.
We
Like
get we getting there. It's some
we're
long
getting
hours
there
in
because
between.
Kip is a big part of that.
Yeah, yeah,
Kip is a big part of that. And what happened to you? And I think this is just going to be a natural transition once you talk about Kip.
yeah.
Like, what made you go work for Kip?
Because Kip brought something different to our community.
Yeah.
I mean, all we wanted was something. All I wanted was something different, and it was my job. I feel like, and I didn't even know I was advocating in to go let people in this community know a different kind of school was coming to our community. And Kentoria, my oldest granddaughter, along with Marvin Burks and a couple of more kids, Quintez, my nephew, they cut the ribbon to Kip in
Mm,
2002.
mm,
Yeah, 2002. That's when Kip came to our neighborhood. And all I know is I didn't want Kentucky to go to the school around the corner where kids were leaving there, couldn't read, so I knew I wanted something different. In order to get something different, you got to fight for something different, so yeah.
and what did that fight look like for you?
It looked like me standing in front of a school in my community telling people to get their kids out of their school, that they weren't teaching our kids to read, that wasn't a good school. That's what it looked like. It looked like people calling me at 12 o'clock at night saying, Miss Sarah, why did you want Shannon to close? That's our neighborhood school. It wasn't about our neighborhood school. I had to explain to them that kids were leaving there, couldn't read. And you know what? One young man came back to me and said, Miss Sarah, you sure wasn't lying. I know I wasn't lying. If I'm lying, show me where I'm lying, then I apologize and move on.
Wow.
So yeah, in the next year, they had to close that school. I thought people didn't hear me because they kept going in that school and kept going in that school, taking
Yeah.
their kids in there every day. But you know what? I know today that's the only option they had right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So anyway, the police was called on me for protesting in front of the school. And every morning, my daughter would drive out there going to work and holler out the car, Mom, leave them folks alone. I said, I will not. I was by myself starting off, but every morning somebody would join me, even if it's people walking in the neighborhood, they'll stand there and talk to me. And one guy came and helped me protest. I know. Yeah.
And you remember what year that was?
Oh, wait. I can't
Well,
remember.
you
But
said if they came in 2002, so it probably was.
it probably was 2000 and no, it went probably about 2000 and oh, I can't remember, Beach. I don't want
Yeah.
to lie. I'd rather be quiet than lie.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. So, I'm trying to record a podcast and
That's okay. Life, and
it's happening. Um, so was there any media, that captured you out in front of a school trying to close it down?
nah, mm-mm,
I mean, and then it
nah.
actually closed down.
The next year, yeah, because they didn't
The
have
next
enough
year.
kids to keep the school open. Yeah, they closed down the next year.
Okay, and then fast forward a few years later, first of all, you have a brain tumor and you have
Yeah,
brain surgery.
right.
And then a few months after that, you get hired on at KIP.
Yeah, but like October, November, 3, 4 months later, I got hired at KIP. Yeah.
3 or 4 months later. And then, and what did that do for you?
Oh God, it showed me a lot. It showed
Mm.
me that kids are smart. It showed me if you believe in what you believe that it can happen. Because where I grew up at, college wasn't talked about. You know,
Hmm.
you got a single mom. My dad passed away when I was 9 years old. You got a single mom trying to make ends meet. You don't talk about those things, you know. And I always say to anybody, anywhere I go, that all we heard was save for your kids' college fund on a commercial. Yeah, that's what we heard.
The
Yeah,
United Negro College Fund.
yeah,
Your mind is a terrible thing to waste.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That
Yeah.
old commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still relevant today, really. So yeah, I went to work at KIP, it showed me so much. And I mean, it exposed the kids to a lot, you know. Well, you know, what my kids may have been downtown, it's some kids ain't never been downtown before or to the zoo before, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. It had college pendants everywhere. And I remember sitting in their morning meetings and they would holler out back then, 2010, the kids would holler out college because that was the first class they kept. And that's when
Mm.
they would be going to college and they would be graduating from high school in 2010. So I'm sitting there like, I went back and told Chip, I said, Chip, I said, Kentucky, you got to go to this school because they going to college at that school, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah. And Kentucky was their first one in 4 generations in my family to go to college.
Wow.
It's all because I believed in something that came and wanted something different. So I had to go back and change her mama mindset, who was my daughter. Then she had to change Kentucky mindset. It was all about changing the mindset.
Mindset.
You don't have to be rich to go to college, man. And that's what people think. And yeah, that's another story on down the line.
No, so this is a perfect segue